Honorable Minister Dr. Barbara Hendricks, Honorable Ambassador Mr. Jacob Adas, Ministers, Members of Parliament, and Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, I'm proud and excited to stand here today and to represent the government of Israel and the State of Israel as a mark together Israel's 66th Independence Day. Every nation of people measures its independence by the fulfillment of democracy, humanitarian and liberal values in their country. The right to vote alone is not enough to prove independence. We need to assure the personal security of each and every citizen. We need to establish relations and alliances with the free world. We need to enable each person to fulfill his or her full potential. We need to help the weak in our society who need equal opportunities for their children. And we need to care for the minorities living among us. Dear friends, standing in this very place as a representative of the democratic government of Israel, the state of the Jewish people, I understand the last word of Sophie Scholl, who lost her life fighting for people's rights. Her last words were, "The sun still shines." So much optimism contained in this sentence expressed by a young woman in her early 20s. Democracy cannot be taken for granted and must be carefully safeguarded. Even when it appears weak, it still remains stronger than any other alternative. The two democracies, Israel and Germany, are strong and have passed many difficult tests in the last 66 years together and separately. In Germany, the unification of West and East in East Germany was very big test. In Israel, the biggest test was the assassination of Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, who lost his life battling for peace. The biggest test is show our two nations have succeeded in overcoming the traumas of the past. We have chosen life, hope, and the future, while remembering the pain and learning the lessons of the past. Next year, we will mark 50 years of diplomatic relations between our two countries. Sophie Scholl was right. Israeli-German relations are proof that the sun still shines. Our two countries have demonstrated their democratic strength in their ability to create a strong strategic alliance between them. At the latest G2G, government-to-government meeting, which took place just 3 months ago in Jerusalem, we were happy to host almost the entire German government, including Minister Hendricks. Ladies and gentlemen, with its establishment, the State of Israel became an immigrant country, absorbing Jews from the whole world, with different languages, different mentalities, and different customs. But Israel is also a land of unlimited opportunities for everyone. And despite all the challenges along the way, we can and must be proud of what we have achieved till now. Distinguished guests, as someone who immigrated to Israel from Morocco and grew up under difficult economic conditions, I got the opportunity to serve my country. In the beginning, as mayor of my hometown Sderot, then as head of the Histadrut, Israel's largest labor union. Later, I became Minister of Defense and Deputy Prime Minister, and today I am Minister of Environmental Protection. I took many important decisions during these years, but one of the most important was to establish the Iron Dome system in the face of strong opposition. They said the system was fantasy, an illusion, a system that can detect the firing of rockets, can calculate their trajectory, and can intercept them in mid-air, and all in 15 to 45 seconds? Impossible. But in my heart, I believe in the ability of the Israeli scientists to do this, and I took my decisions knowing that the system would respond a political and security need. First and foremost, it would change the balance against terror organizations and ensure the ability of our citizens to maintain a normal life. However, I also believe that the success of the system would convince the terror organization to prefer the negotiating table to the continuation of the conflict. As Minister of Defense, I knew the exact line of the border under my responsibility. As Minister of Environment Protection, I have no way to measure borders, since the environment has no borders. Pollution does not distinguish between countries and takes no account of fences or political lines. Cooperation with our neighbors in protecting our common environment is very important and is our only option. Ladies and gentlemen, I belong to the peace camp. Unfortunately, the negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians have reached a deep crisis. I am not one who seeks to place blame. I seek solution. The reality in which we live requires that we continue to live as neighbors. Therefore, we must do all in our power to renew negotiation and to try to reach a permanent agreement that would guarantee two states for two people living in peace side by side. And finally, I believe with all my heart that this is the way and the life cycle that can ensure the continued independence and prosperity of the State of Israel. Social justice, environmental justice, and peace. Thank you very much, and happy Independence Day. Thank you.